Only on The Experience this weekend, Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, with hosts Amy Chu and Ming Chen. Tune in Saturday and Sunday for great conversations with great creators and a celebration of the heritage that these creators have brought to comics. Saturday and Sunday, only on The Experience.
Hey everyone, I think I'm live now, right? We were talking so much about food, I had to have a small snack, and shocker of all shockers, I actually had a little bit of fruit, in keeping with the theme that you must take care of yourself as a creator. So every now and then, you should have something healthy or you're gonna get scurvy, okay? So, yeah, so I'm back, and I had a few grapes. I probably should have a little bit more than that.
Sorry, didn't mean to leave you hanging.
No. I was just talking about how it's important, right? I think it was Joe Eisma who was saying we need to take care of ourselves, and so I had a little healthy snack. I bet yours is not as healthy as mine, though.
Chai tea. I found some like old Cheez-Its in the podcast studio here, so
I knew it. I just had some grapes, so
well done. Yeah.
So don't do as Ming does. No, actually, I take it back. Do as Ming does in general, but yeah, you gotta like have some. Actually, no, Ming, you actually in general are probably healthier than I am. You have much healthier lifestyle. You do yoga. Yeah.
That's just what you see on social media, my friend. Which was more consistent.
It looks good. It's good.
I gotta be honest. Before I started going to conventions in 2014, I was doing every workout possible, and then then we started going to conventions, and there's the dinners and the hotel bar and the parties, and then you're at the convention for 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a day, and you're not sleeping, and you're having fun. And the health kind of went out the window a little bit. So, if you see me pre 2014, I look pretty good right now. After pandemic, I don't know, but I just that's not an excuse. It's just what happened. But, anyways, they never have like the kale smoothie stand at like New York Comic Con.
Right.
They don't have that.
Right. They just have the $12 hot dog, and it's just not conducive. So people should pack, healthy snacks. This is me as like, of course I never do that, but I'm just telling you, you should do that. I usually pack.
Yeah, and then that's right. Hey, we're in Seattle. Let's go eat. Like that's the first thought.
Right.
Where are we eating?
Seattle, it's like, let's do the donut tour. Let's hit all the good donut places. my feeling is once you've done the convention, you go back home and then you do the healthy stuff.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. So food, everybody. It's there's a comic AAPI live stream, cleverly disguised as a food talk show. A food street.
But food is the common denominator.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Brings us all together.
It brings us all together.
It's the reason why we do anything.
Right. I hope, I think hopefully there's some people who have been out with us for this whole afternoon, and thank you for not like tuning us out. Maybe you have, but I don't care. Thanks for sticking with us. I hope it's been interesting. So we got one more. We got one more guest, and who is that guest?
I can't wait.
Drum roll. It's
Mr.
Mr.
How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Hi, good. How you guys doing?
It's so good to see you. What is your background? It looks like you got a bunch of
my son's pops.
Your
your
son's
son.
pop?
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Right. No, it's all good. It makes
Right,
for a much better
Yeah, those are my kids back there as well. Those are my kids' pops as well. Yeah,
Awesome. That's great.
come on, it's
I
okay.
love that stuff. I love it.
Right. And so do you have Ming's pop back there? Ming has his own pop, of which none of us seem to have.
That's cool. Really? No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he does.
it was very limited. Limited to 1,000 pieces.
Oh, wow.
Jane Silent Bob's Secret Stash store exclusive. I just grabbed whichever ones had the crushed boxes, and that was it. That's the only ones I got.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I still want one. I want a pop one day. You know, if it's
Someday.
only just a custom pop, we need to make you one too. I know there's a bunch of people out there who customize pops, and they'll make you one. So
That'd be great.
maybe
Yeah,
one in
yeah.
Brown
I love that stuff.
Yeah. So Ron, thanks for
Yes.
coming on.
Thanks for having me.
And I know you're in the West Coast, so you were like, okay, you can be our last guest, so we can get his beauty
Yeah.
rest. And
I don't get up till noon pretty much sometimes. So, you know, if you catch me before noon, yeah, not coherent.
right. No, and that's so true, right? I'm an early morning person, and I just get,
Right.
I'm like so like boring. Like I'm by 8 o'clock at night, I'm so tired. It's just kind of a lame story. I think it would be better if I just talked about like, oh yeah, I'm partying all night, but I'm not at all.
I work at night, so I'm
Right,
used to that
right.
schedule. But you know, most normal people sleep during the night.
Well, now here's the question. It seems like most of the artists I know work better at night. Do you think that's because you're biologically wired that way, or is it really just better?
I think it's because it's quiet, nothing's happening. You can just focus, and there's no distractions. I think that's the reason I like it. Is, you know, my family's asleep. I can watch whatever I want, listen to whatever I want, you know, and then there's no distractions during the day. You know, get phone calls, emails, you know, all kinds of stuff. Got to run errands, that kind of thing. So during the night, I'm just most efficient at night.
Right. That's your most productive time. Do you have a specific hour where you feel like you're at your peak?
Not really. Probably around 10 or so, 10, 11. That's when I usually start around 9, maybe.
Right.
I mean, I work during the day too, but I focus like straight through at night. You know, I work continuously at night. Yeah.
Well, so you're working continuously through the night. You're also working some during the day. How much sleep do you get normally?
I get enough sleep.
Enough, yeah.
Because I usually go sleep around 4 or so.
Yeah.
11. Yeah, 11, 12. Yeah.
Right. We were talking about taking care of yourself. Actually, let's talk about that because, you know, you've had a illustrious career and a lengthy career. And, you know, I teach at the Kubert School, and I try to tell some of these younger up-and-coming artists that you really need to take care of yourself because there's a longevity aspect of this, right? Yeah. Some people want to go straight out of the gate. They want to work straight out. They're not sleeping. They're working their arm 16 hours a day. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I used to work like crazy hours also when I was younger. I don't do it anymore, of course. But yeah, I mean, you gotta keep a balance. I mean, because I know at one point I was working so much, I was like, you know what, this is crazy. Because I started not feeling completely well. I was like, you know what, I guess gotta take some hours and then just like do something else. So I'll take breaks all through the day. And I mean, just for your mental wellness, I think. If you just sit there focus on your artwork, you just, I don't know, you become like a hermit of some sort, you know. Just, I mean, plus if you're sitting there all day not moving, that's not good for you in general anyway. So yeah, you got to get up and move around. I take a break like every couple hours, just to get up, walk around, you know, whether that's to get something to drink or, you know, just go outside for a little bit. That's always a good thing.
Right. Taking a little walk. I think your audio is a little bit low, so maybe, you know, I think, if you get a little bit closer, that might be.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. But can you hear me?
Is that better?
Yeah, or you can just yell.
Is my audio okay? I want to make sure.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. So, you know, you've worked on some amazing stuff. Let's talk about your career a little bit.
Sure.
You know, and also let's also talk about what you're working on now. But like you worked on some amazing stuff, and I tend to think of you as a Marvel guy. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. I've done DC stuff and I've done stuff for like Archie comics, but I'm vastly more, you know, well known for the Marvel stuff. Probably like 90% of my stuff is Marvel. So yeah.
So let's talk about your Marvel career, like,
Sure.
and because it is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, talk a little bit
Yes.
about the origin story of Ron Lim. And,
I was bit by no, I mean typical Asian kind of upbringing. I grew up in Yuba City, California. I mean Marysville actually, but next to Yuba City, so it's a very small town. And so, usual, typical Asian parents wanted me to go in the medical field, right? So
Yep.
they said, but they said, but they're actually they're encouraging with my artwork, which was surprising back then, especially. So they said, do your artwork, but also try to focus on the medical if you can. They slowly found out, not the best idea. But they said, as long as you have something to fall back on, just go ahead and work on the artistic stuff. So they're pretty good. They took me to Comic-Con for the first time when I was a kid. It's, I was way too young just to let me experience that. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah. So I mean, it was a typical, just normal. And until I started going to conventions. Once I went to conventions, I could see that editors were there doing portfolio reviews and that kind of thing. So I started working on pages, just to do samples, that kind of thing. And I mean, that was years. I don't know how many years. But quite a while before I finally got to WonderCon. The very first WonderCon was where I got hired by Tom DeFalco and Mark Grunwald. They gave me a chance to do a story. They're like, I gave them the portfolio. They looked through it and they're like, hey, we like your stuff. We'll give you a short story. If you can meet your deadline and do a decent job, then there's a possibility of more work in the future. So I was like, cool. So I did that. A lot of pressure. I was sweating. I was a Black Panther.
Wait, and how old were you? How old were you when this happened?
I was let's see. I think I was a junior in college. So
early 20s then.
Yeah, like 21 maybe 21. Yeah. So I did that. So I was doing that during my schoolwork. So I had to do another extra semester of school because that slowed me a little bit. But they loved it, and then they started feeding me more and more works. Slowly. Like I did Cyforce. That was my first series for them, and then my editor was like, "Hey, there's this Marshall Rogers leaving the Silver Surfer." I was like, "Ooh, can I try? Because I love Surfer." And they're like, "Yeah, sure, you can try." And so I did samples, sent it in, and I waited. And then my editor calls like, "You won't believe this, but you actually got it." I'm like, "What?" So yeah, it was. I mean, I was shocked. I mean, that was like my second regular gig at Marvel. So yeah, pretty wild.
That's pretty wild. And what were you pre-med? Were you actually pre-med during that?
No. Well, okay, so it started out medical, right? Then we tried to focus on dentistry, okay? And then so I was doing that. Still
medical, still medicine-ish. Yeah.
But I wasn't into it at all, So I was like, I'll just do the classes, and I was doing okay. But I think my parents saw the writing on the wall, and they're like, yeah, you know what? He's much better at art than he is at the medical stuff. So they let me go that direction. So I got a BA in graphic arts there instead. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you did get your bachelor's.
Yes.
Yeah, you didn't drop out like Jay Lee did.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Jay's like, screw this, and didn't even tell his parents he wasn't going to class.
Oh, yeah. How do you tell your parents that you dropped out? You can't. As an Asian? No way, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they would have killed me.
Yep.
We put you all that way in, and you're going to quit now at the end? Forget it.
Right. Okay, so amazing. You got Silver Surfer. And?
Yeah. Oh, as a kid, I remember reading the Marvel Fantastic Four Treasury edition, those giant-sized editions, and I was like, "Who's a silver guy? He's cool looking, and he's weird, right? He's a surfer. He surfs in the sky." So as a kid, I loved that. So I loved Surfer all through, growing up and reading comics and stuff. So like I said, when I got the comic, I was like blown away. And then Steve Englehart was a writer, and that was an awesome. So
that was like dream achieved so early. Did you feel like, okay, well, that's it? Or were you like,
oh no, there's so many characters that I love at Marvel and DC and stuff. I mean, there's multitudes of characters I'd love to work on. So I mean, he was just the first one. So yeah, because then I did Captain America also, which was another one of my favorites. So those were the ones I was working on at the same time for a while.
At the same time, really?
Yeah, so I was doing Surfer and Cap simultaneously, but then when George left the Gauntlet, they asked me to take over Gauntlet, so I did that, and then that took me off Cap. I was supposed to go back to Cap after Gauntlet was done, but then we did end up doing Infinity War and then Crusade. So by that point, that ship moved on.
Yeah, and you know, it was like, well, I guess that worked out all right.
Yeah, yeah,
Later on,
yeah. Can't complain about.
yeah, you know,
Although
like
it was, although it was frightening following George Perez, though. I'll tell you that much. I was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you did a great job. I mean,
Oh, thanks.
I mean, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one,
Oh,
but
thanks, man. I
yeah,
appreciate it.
come on,
I
come on.
want to a pause here too, because most, and I tell people this all the time, because a lot of readers do not understand how much work goes into making a comic,
Sure.
and they just think we basically just like it just magically appears. And for you
Right.
to say that you were doing 2 books at the same time, I try to explain to people, very few people can do that. I mean, not only do you not generally get more than 1 book at a time, to
Right.
physically be able to do 2 books at a time, were you just really fast, or you were just getting no sleep, or how were you doing it?
Kind of a combination of both. I mean, I'm pretty fast, so I was able to do that. And I mean, I did sleep a little less, but it wasn't like I was getting sleep deprived, you know. But I definitely worked a lot longer through the night. But yeah, I was very, when I was younger. I mean, I had a lot more. I was able to focus and just turn those pages out pretty fast. So yeah, and the editors loved that because I could meet my deadlines too. In fact, we got so far ahead on Surfer at one point. My editor's like, you know what? You guys can take a couple months off because we're like so far ahead that we can't do any more issues. I'm like, what? So we're literally on Surfer. We were like 6 months ahead of schedule, which is never happened again. I've never worked on a book that was that far.
Yeah. Yeah, that never happens.
Never.
Yeah. Yeah, every editor is making notes, right? Like, he's actually ahead of schedule.
Yeah. They told Jim Starlin, Jim, you need to stop writing for a while because we're too far ahead of schedule. I was like, all right. So yeah.
That's really funny. So you've done all that. Have you done creator-owned stuff? Is that something you have thought
I did
about?
one that nobody knows about called Randy O'Donnell is the Man with Tom DeFalco. It was like a 3-issue that came out way back when. But yeah, I love working on the Marvel and DC stuff. So I mean, I do want to do a creator-owned one, probably still sometime in the future, maybe. But I just love the Marvel and DC stuff so much. I mean, my dream was to get in and to draw the Marvel characters. So I mean, I just love doing that stuff.
Yeah,
so.
and you did that like in spades for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So I still love it. So I mean, that's why I'm still working with the Marvel, do all this stuff right now. Yeah.
Right. Which is amazing. So few people achieve their dreams, and here you are. It's like, yeah, I did it, and I did it, and I did 2 books at the same time, and I did this way back, before I even started contemplate. No, I mean, right? I feel like, okay, I started comics much later in life, and you started it so much earlier. That's just kind of like amazing.
It's wild. I mean, it doesn't feel like I've been doing it for like 35 years.
Yeah.
I feel like it's.
I didn't say it. You said it.
Yeah, no, I know it's true, but it's like people come with me like, oh, I love your work, and it's like a full-grown dude. I'm like, hey, thanks, man. And like when you first saw my book, I was like 5 years old.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Next.
Hey man, longevity speaks volumes, my friend.
Oh,
Longevity, consistency, dedication. Yeah, those are fine qualities in a lot of people.
I try.
Yeah. Well, so let's talk about longevity in a good way, because a lot of people they get on one book and they sort of flame out, or after a couple of years. What's your secret to success?
I think it's just being able to be on schedule, and then being able to pick stuff that you like to work on, and that would because you can work on a book for so long and then you'll lose interest. I mean, no matter how cool it is, it's like after so many years, I think you need to take a break and change the the characters or whatever. Because I mean, I worked on Surfer for 6 years, and by the end, I mean, I loved it, but by the end, I said, this is pretty much it, because it's like I've been drawing for so long. It's like I kind of ran out of steam on him. So yeah, but I've been drawing him in so long that it's fun drawing him now again. So yeah.
Right. I mean, that's super interesting. I mean, 6 years is a long time. I mean, that's
that's my longest run. Yeah.
But if you were to get it again, or maybe do a short story, how would you approach it? Different?
Yeah, well, I'm sure different, because I mean, it's been so long. I mean, I'm trying to, even though I've been doing it for so long, I try to keep improving. I mean, I try, but technique-wise, layouts, that kind of thing, storytelling. So I mean, I'm sure my improvements aren't the big leaps it was back when I was younger, but I'm still trying. keep it more interesting, So I'm doing a lot of variant covers for Marvel, so that's fun because I can able to do like cool layouts with characters I've never drawn before. So I mean, there's so many characters in Marvel now. that I've never drawn or so redesigned that they're like new characters to me now.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of fun.
So I'm sure you have like a fan base that just like they're following you and they expect a certain style from you. But do you feel like you need to sometimes try, experiment? Do you experiment? Do you do different things?
I try, but you know what? It's like I've drawn my style for so long. Even if I think it's an experimental look, it looks the same to everybody else.
Oh, okay. Nobody else notices.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's little things, right? I'll tweak my my rendering or the layouts or whatever. I mean, some people will notice, but generally, I don't think. I think my style is so. I've done it for so long. It just kind of comes out naturally. I can't really change that too much. Yeah, but I try though. I try.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah. Do you? And I know a lot of artists we do traditional because really, right? You're selling original art. People expect it. Do you do digital, and how much digital do you do?
I did digital for all the kids' book stuff I did for Marvel for a while. I did all the movie adaptations for the kids' books. So all of that was, you know what? Some of that was digital because when I started out, I did traditional paper and pencil, so I did the old school style. But then they're like, we need to do layers, so move stuff around if we want. So I had to move to a tablet and start doing it digitally instead. So now though, if it's like kids' books or like like commercial art type stuff or whatever, then I'll do it on the tablet. But if it's on my layouts, I do all my comic book layouts on the tablet because it's just so much easier to do corrections and stuff. But I still prefer doing paper and pencil still. Just traditional style.
Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting. What about colors? Do you also do colors?
No, you don't want to see that.
The man can't do everything. He can do everything.
Those colors are really good. Like that's like asking me, do you want to see my drawing? And you really don't want to see me drawing, right? It's like no.
I've never tried like digitally coloring anything. That'd be kind of cool, but I've never tried it. But when I tried to color back in the day, that did not end well. I
think it's easier now. Yeah, with digital for sure.
Yeah. Able to blend stuff and I think it'd be kind of cool one of these days. Yeah. So
and you started shows were very important to you, I think, in your career, right? So
I was literally hired at WonderCon.
Yeah. Which is crazy. 1987 is that?
I think so. Yeah. I think so.
Which is crazy.
It was weird. Yeah. It was in Oakland, and I was like, I walked into my portfolio expecting them to do the same thing all the reviewers did. It's like, oh, nice work, come back in a year. I mean, I got that for so long. I was like, I'm getting ready for that one again.
Yeah.
When they liked it, I was truly stunned. I was like, huh? This can't be happening.
That's fantastic. That's amazing. Yeah. Do you feel like the shows have changed in that regard? Like how are younger artists breaking through? Are they still going around and is that working?
I don't know because there's so many more avenues to show your stuff now. With the internet, there's stuff that I could never think of back then. Back then it was the cons or just sending it into Marvel or DC and that's it. Those were our only options. Now you can go online, you can have your own page, it's an endless possibilities of showing your stuff, which is awesome. But I don't see any. I never used any of that stuff, so I wouldn't know. But even at conventions, I don't see as many portfolio reviews. They'll come up to me to ask me as much. They still do, but not like they used to. Because back then that was the only way they could get feedback. Right. But now they can just go online and get feedback from everybody.
Start an Instagram page or something and
post get feedback right away, right? Yeah.
It's technology, right? People can be good on Zooms now. We're now virtual conventions. It's all different.
Yeah. It's totally different. Yeah, from way back when. Yeah.
Yeah, but the cons are so much bigger now, though, too. So
yeah, it's totally different. You get entire families all the time going now. People of all ages. Back when we were going back in the day, it was yeah,
I remember.
It's like just really just majority of guys, right? Just
yep.
WinCon. It's just like the general public was not there. You would just see people just off the street, just didn't know anything. So now people come up to me and say, "What do you do?" They don't even know what I do, but they're at the show, they're at Comic-Con, just wandering around having fun. So that's that's cool.
Yeah, well, kids, sit down. Let me tell you what I do.
Yeah.
Prepare to be amazed.
That's right.
Love it.
Yeah, I love the shows.
So and I'm sure you do this all the time, you know, in terms of advice to people, younger people. But I don't want to talk so much about younger people because everyone's like, oh, what would you tell the young folks?
Sure.
I feel like, because I teach at the Kubert School, and I feel like a lot of people who are most interested in what I do are people looking for the second career or doing the things that they wish they had done when you were breaking in. But they ended up doing pre-med and whatever. And now with COVID and everything, people are like, it's just like this whole thing of like, not just the sourdough bread and everything. It's like, oh, I want the thing that I always wanted to do, which was to draw, right? Everyone's like making the sourdough and whatever. And I feel like
totally went, he never cooked anything, I don't think. He turned into like a bread master over the pandemic. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Everyone gets a sourdough starter.
Yeah, he brought over the bread. I was like,
and some people are like, I wanted to be Ron Lim, but I didn't do it, and now's my opportunity to at least do something. What is your advice to people who are now, you know, at an age where they have their career, maybe they have a family, but they still have that bug in them that they wish they had done something?
Well, I was just say, you know, never give up. I mean, people don't, you know, people get in, you know, later in life, which is, you know, that's just the way it is. But it's like, I would never give up. I would always, I mean, I think the biggest thing is if people want advice, you know, even if it's advice you don't actually think is right or whatever, just try to take everything in and then incorporate that into your work. Because I mean, so many people that I give advice to, they don't want to hear it if it's not what they want to hear. You know what I mean? It's like I'll say just the simplest thing is like, you know, you need to work on this a little bit. Like, oh yeah, I know that. You know, it's like, all right. And then like my neighbor asked me to go talk to someone, his friend. It's like, she needs some advice. She'd love to meet you. But then I talked to her and she was really nice and everything, but she didn't want to hear it. She thought she knew everything already. So I was like, that's fine. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, yeah, but it's like, why ask me then? You just you could have said, you know what? I don't need to talk to him. I'm good. But yeah, that's fine. You know, that's the way it is. So,
yeah, there's definitely people who they just want to hear what they want to hear, and they're not hearing it from you. They'll go hit Jay Lee, and hopefully Jay Lee will say something nice, and Jay Lee will be like, "No, you suck," and then they won't want to hear that either. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I try to be as you know, as encouraging as I can be, but I can't just say your stuff's great if it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta be honest.
Yeah, I try to give them tips as much as I can, but like I said, and the ones that do listen are really, you know, really cool. I mean, they'll learn and then they'll grow from that. But the ones that don't, you know, what are you gonna do? Just gonna stay the same. Yeah.
You can't do anything. I do think, because I teach the online writing class at Kubert School, I would say half the students are like they're you know, well into their career, maybe possibly even retired, and those are the ones that they're receptive. You say something or like, oh, I think your pacing is off. You need to, you know, you need an establishing shot on this page, and they listen and they incorporate and they do another round, and I'm like, there we go.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah.
But then you also have the people who are like, well, I already know what I've already thought this through, and this is my way of doing it. I'm like kind of thinking your way kind of sucks. You know, there are certain craft things, and they exist for a reason, right?
Exactly.
Storytelling, and you have to learn how to master that storytelling, right? And if you're not listening, then I'm not going to.
What's the point? I mean, the whole point of going into, you know, to learn this stuff is to learn it, right? To absorb it and to learn it, incorporate it into your work, but they don't want to listen.
They don't want to listen. Maybe they'll listen.
Yeah, but, it's like people start telling me like, "Oh no, this is what I meant to do." It's like, well, then why are you coming to me?
Yeah, why are you asking me for it? Well,
you already know.
The truth is, all credit to people who finish what they do, and then they're like, "Okay, this is my stuff, and it rocks," and they put it out there, and they finished it. So I'm already saying, "Hey, good for you." But you know, keep going, and you know, listen to what we have to say, and you can decide. Right. Right. And the other thing when people start listening really hard is when I tell them you're going to have to pay the artist. OK, and if you're going to pay the artist, you've got this many pages and you don't need so many pages. You know, you're trying to tell a story in 40 pages. I'm like, dude, you could have done this in 16 pages.
Right.
Don't forget, you are paying the artist. You are paying the artist. Don't try to get away with freebies. You know?
Yeah. Right. Freebies. No.
Nobody cares about your story. Nobody cares about your story except you. Okay. So don't try to get an artist excited about your story because you've already decided it's my story. Unless you and the artists have collectively gotten together over a couple of beers and say, okay, now we're going to collaborate and we have our story. Maybe but
Right.
right. So
Right.
that's just a
Yeah,
little
it's always
PSA to people out there who want to be a creator. Okay.
it's true. Yeah, it's totally true.
So yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Pay the artists, everybody. They, they
Pay
work
the-
hard. They definitely deserve it.
Yeah, it is way harder, and I know some people are like, "Oh, it's so hard to write." It is hard to write, but
Oh, yeah.
imagine for writing one page versus drawing a page. Let's just talk about that. The amount of time it takes to draw the page is different for me to write the page.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So,
Yeah. I mean, they're both, they both different skills, So, I mean, it
Right.
just takes us longer to do it than the writer does.
Yeah.
it is very true. And again, this whole thing about I can write, in one sentence, I could say, okay, crowd scene in a coliseum with 20 horses.
Exactly.
And for me, literally the 5 seconds it just took for me to tell you that, for you to draw that, that's a whole nother thing.
That's
so,
how long it takes for my tear to come down my eye.
Yeah. Yeah, which is
I am never working with that chick again. It's like, all right.
When I did Infinity Gauntlet, oh my gosh, I get to the page from Jim, and Jim was like, all the characters standing in a room talking to each other. I'm like, what? There goes my weekend, Jim. Thanks.
Like, thanks a lot.
right, but you did it, and you did it very well. So
Right. But so
I knew what I was signing up for,
Right,
I
exactly.
don't know if you knew you were signing up for that, though.
Yeah.
Although, maybe you did. Maybe you did.
Only enjoy,
Yeah.
Can't escape that, yeah.
Yep.
So we have asked every single guest, and this is kind of like the aside, about food. I don't know if do you consider yourself a foodie? Do you care about food? What do you?
I love food. I love food, but I don't know if I'm a foodie. But I
If
love
you love food, you are a foodie. What kind of food do you like? Because we have not shared.
Yeah, no, I disagree. I was Ron. I was on your Instagram. There's a very great picture of a steamed sweet rice cake on there that made me very hungry. And basically, his caption was like, "Listen, if you know what this is, then you know. If you know, then you know." And I know, and I knew, and I've not had one of those in a while. They're available in most, freshly made in most Asian grocery stores. And it's.
I love everything. Chinese food, Japanese food, Korean food. What else? I mean, I love pizza. Italian. I love Italian food. Yeah.
Any
so
food.
You're definitely a foodie then.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I know that.
Cantonese or Mandarin? Your background?
Cantonese.
Cantonese. Okay.
I speak
dim
none of it,
sum.
though.
Yeah. So I suck too. I spent 2 years in Hong Kong, and basically I came out of it with passable dim sum Cantonese. So it was in the end.
What else do you need to know, Amy? You get your steamed rice dumplings and banana leaves. Yeah.
I want that one.
Right. Yeah.
And if you say it fast enough, they can overlook it. That's what I found out, is that you point to the cart, you say it really quickly if you know the numbers, and if you know the last character, which is usually either beef, pork, or shrimp, and if you know it, you can get by.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So we gotta do dim sum sometime.
All right, yeah, that'd be great. I'm in.
Ming and I did that, right? What convention was that?
We did. I don't know where we were, but we
Calgary or Edmonton. We were with Garrett Wang. What weren't we?
We were in Calgary, Ron,
wow.
And somehow I found this. It's like either a 24-hour dim sum place, or they open ridiculously early, like 6 a.m. And we rolled in there like at 7:30, 8 a.m. And they were. It looked like a bunch of Asian gangsters were in there already. Making deals, but yeah, man, we got full dim sum. We got all kinds of stuff in there.
Oh wow!
At 8 a.m. I was like, it was definitely a find in Calgary, and
it was great.
Yeah,
That's
God bless their Chinatown, because we ate like kings, and it wasn't even 9 a.m. by the time we got out of there, and I was like,
right?
man, yeah,
it's open that early. Yeah,
it was open so early. Yeah,
it was the only place. It was the only place. It was not fancy by any means.
No.
But it was good?
It was great.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was fantastic.
Well, especially considering the circumstances, it was great. It was very good.
Well, most of the places you go to, it's the smaller places that are the better ones, It's like when you go to those nice, big, fancy ones, it's kind of more generic to me, it seems like. They go to these small, kind of like dumpy places. Like
The
food's really
dumpy
good.
places are usually the best because they're not spending money on making things fancy. And like it's really authentic. Well, of course, you have to make sure everyone in there is Asian, so it's
Sure.
not,
Yes,
yeah.
that helps.
If it's all non-Asian people, I'm like, we're all the Asians.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, they're next door at the other place, and then you go over there.
Yeah.
It's like,
I was like, excuse me, well, I'll be right back, and you don't come back.
yeah, I cannot even get my mom into a PF Chang's. She's just like, no way.
No, yeah. No thanks. We passed on that.
Like
too.
we're offending and PF Chang's aficionados, but yeah, my mom will not step foot in any place like that. Panda
Yeah.
Express, she was even like, I think my uncle will eat there, but my mom's like, no way, they put sugar in food. I'm like, well, yeah, but they're rich,
Yeah,
And yep, they made a huge business out of that.
Yeah, they're doing all right.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
they're on every corner. That's all right. There you go.
Right. Well, so do you cook yourself? Do you do anything like that? Can you cook? No. You just
No.
eat.
Yeah, I just show up.
I just
I try to help. I can make a rice.
Oh yeah, no, that's good. That's really important for survival. I
That's
just
a
found out
skill.
my younger brother has been making his own dim sum. How
Wow,
hardcore
really?
is that? Yeah, he made that wugok thing. You know that
Oh,
like
yeah, really?
yeah, he made it. I was just like he's like sending me pictures of it. I'm like, do you have nothing else to do? I can't even make him now.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, considering you could just go to Chinatown and get it for like $3.50, $2.50.
Yeah,
and have somebody else make it.
That's true, huh? Yeah.
But he doesn't live near a Chinatown, so I understand. He's
Okay, yeah.
like he's pretty far away, but still, like I would have FedExed him one. Just
Yeah.
FedEx.
Well, I've never
Hope
met.
it's same day delivery.
Yeah.
right, yeah.
I've never ever met anyone's like, oh yeah, I make my own dim sum. I'm like, what? What?
Why?
Yeah.
That's not easy.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
No.
Even my mom was impressed. I was like, wow. All right. So anyway, yeah. So we were going to do dim sum. That would be fun. We should do a Zoom. We should do next time we see you. I don't know where we'll see you. San Diego,
I'll be at
California.
Comic-Con, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll try to do some kind of live broadcast there. Because here's
That'd
the
be
thing.
awesome. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It's about my family. It just so happens my older brother, he's a game developer. He does like little apps for, I shouldn't say little apps, you know what I mean, for like
Right.
the live stream. And he has a dim sum app. He has a dim sum app, which has turned out to be his most popular app because all it is just dim sum. He just puts pictures of dim sum and a little recording of how to pronounce it. But it turns out,
Really? That's
Right.
cool.
that is something that's actually needed because I'm always like, oh, what is that thing? Yeah, that I want one of those, and it turns
That'd
out
be totally helpful, right? Yeah.
Right?
I'll use it.
It's free. I'll send you the link,
Okay.
Yeah, and
That's
now here's
awesome.
my younger brother making the dim sum, and what am I doing? I'm just eating it. So
That's the most fun part, though.
it is totally
That's what I love the most.
for sure.
It's just when we had the Talk Dim Sum app.
Yeah, that's it. That's my brother.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I got
That's
it.
awesome. I'll download it for sure.
Shout out to my
Right
brother.
now, I'll download it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's free.
cool.
It's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love
again,
apps like that. So
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
I was joking that this is the capitalist channel. You should feel free to pimp whatever you want to like promote. And my brother is the exact opposite. He'll just do these things and he makes it free. And I'm like, you should charge. He's like, oh, so he charges 99 cents for the upgrade. I'm like, 99 cents. Okay. So that's him.
He's doing his work for the greater good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does.
Contributing to the-
Oh, you should think about expanding your brand franchise and doing all these things. And he's just like doing everything for the good of humanity. And I'm like, no, you should.
He's a true superhero right there, man.
He's doing God's work for dim sum,
That can be on a T-shirt. I'd buy that.
Yeah. And I'm like, you should make t-shirts. You should make, plush siumai or something, And he's like, no.
Flush Zoom.
See, now
That's
I
great.
just gave you that idea. You should do that.
That's a great idea.
Oh, dim sum plushies, like yeah, for sure.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, they have make cutesy with big eyes, and yeah, they're
I'm sure it's
anthropomorphic.
already done. Somebody out there's already
man.
done it. Yeah.
Already sold. I'm sold on that one.
Oh yeah, yeah, in a heartbeat, I would buy that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
All right. Did we just hijack this with dim sum? But we're
Pretty
on.
much.
Now. We're gonna do the
Yeah,
dim sum.
welcome to what happens when you get a bunch of Asian people together. It ultimately goes to
Right.
food. Always
Right.
goes to food.
Well, Bernard Chang did a great variant of, I think it was New Superman doing dim sum with a bunch.
Oh, really?
I'm sure it was really, yeah, it's great. And I wanted a copy, and I think it's sold out. It was a variant a little while ago, and he managed to do the full table. You know how the table will seat 8 to 10 people.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
he worked it out. So he managed to get everyone around it with all the bamboo steamers and everything.
No way.
Really
That's
fantastic.
cool.
Gotta look it up. It's
I'll look it up.
issue. Yeah.
I'll find
And
it.
so for this latest DC anthology for this month, I was trying to do that, and I realized he had done it before. So Marcio Takara was drawing the story, and I wanted to replicate it, but then I realized, oh, it's already been done before. And then it was outdoors, and we couldn't do the table. So it ended up just a bunch of superheroes sitting around eating Asian food, which was fine. It was fine. But I
That
was
works.
like,
Yeah, that works.
yeah, it still works.
Yeah.
But the original concept was like, because the lazy Susan and all the dishes, and I thought that was great. And
That's perfect. Yeah.
we need to make it more Pan-Asian, multicultural, and it turned into
Right.
food. We still had all that great food, and everyone's having a picnic, but it was like an Asian food market kind of scene, which I think
cool.
is
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm hungry again. I'm hungry.
I'm
We've been
hungry now.
Yeah, we've been hungry all afternoon. This is all we do. All we're doing is talking about food. But yeah,
I know.
not a bad thing.
And I ate before, so figuring I won't be hungry. But now I'm hungry again.
Hopefully everyone else is hungry too. We're like, Speaking of which, we were also trying to figure out giveaways. So I just want to remind people for comments, because Ming has 2 pounds of delicious coffee beans from Death Wish Coffee, which is our favorite. Have you had Death Wish, by the way, Ron? I don't know
No.
if you drink. Oh, so
I don't drink much coffee. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So don't
let
you
me
know?
see.
If you get
Oh,
heart
that's cool.
palpitations, it's very good coffee. It's my
Is it
favorite
good?
coffee.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but it is really strong. So yeah. So we were trying to figure out a way to give it to some enterprising person who comes up with a great
awesome.
comment or something like that. I don't know. Anyway.
I may have picked a couple winners. There have been some people who've been here with us all day. So
Oh really?
yeah.
Okay.
They get
They
special
deserve it. Yeah, they
consideration.
deserve it.
I also, if there's more, because I have a basement full of comics. I'm sure Ron does too, but I have I'm happy to give away comics because I didn't do shows all year, and normally I'm at shows, and because I don't draw, the only thing I can do is sign comics. So I have a basement full of Redsonians, Kiss comics, and stuff like that. So I feel like I should give away some of those somehow. So what I originally intended, honestly, this weekend I was going to have some trivia questions, Asian American trivia questions, but I didn't have time because I have deadlines. I'm like, how can I do this? I'll figure out something, I'm hoping that somebody will say something really cool that's, I don't know, Asian American History Month, and I'll be like, okay. But I don't have that right now.
You got time.
Yeah,
I got time.
I'm trying to figure out what kind of Asian American trivia questions you would have come up with.
Well, so I was going to try it. Now I feel like kind of awful in that, I was like, but I wanted, to be sort of educational, like food or history.
Right.
Yeah.
Make it sort of educational, but we aren't, this is not the Discovery Channel.
Yeah, no, I mean, the only thing I can think of is hey, what year did Enter the Dragon come out? That's the only thing I can think of.
No. I mean, we can talk about, the Exclusion Act, or we could talk about, the Japanese internment. But now I feel like we're now getting to serious stuff. But yeah,
Real history. Yeah.
real history,
Yeah.
exactly. Right. So Ron, what other things can we ask you? Because I don't know you as well. I think have we been at a show together?
I don't know. I mean, up until like 2 years ago, I didn't do a whole lot of shows. I just did Comic-Con, San Diego, and WonderCon mainly in California.
Yeah.
It's just when Infinity War came out, and they started saying, "Why don't you go to these conventions?" I was like, "Okay." So we started doing that. So I mean, the last 2 years have been not last year, but the 2 previous years were pretty busy.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy getting out of California and going to other shows?
Yeah, it was cool because I mean, like since I never did it, it's like, wow, these cons are cool because they're all so different, you know. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah. So once the pandemic's over, then I'll probably start going back out.
Oh yeah, okay, good, cool. Yeah, it's me and Amy, I lost count of how many we do per year, and it's always cool when we're at the same shows in a weird city.
Yeah.
And definitely, it does lead to finding fried chicken and donuts and
we shouldn't say weird city because it's not weird for the people who live in the city, but it's a city that we haven't been to.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah, but
I'm in.
I think it's so much fun, and it was pop culture and comic books that got us out there. I think that's such a fun thing.
Yeah, it is.
Those are the fun shows because the people who go to shows that aren't San Diego or WonderCon, they're really coming out to support. It's a local show, and usually they pay more attention to us. The problem, as you know, with San Diego is that everyone's going over
huge. Yeah.
HBO, the Warner Brothers thing, whatever it is, and they walk by your table and like, oh, is there still comics? And it's just but these smaller shows, they're like, oh my God, you did that? And they're really, the interaction is always so much cooler in some way.
Because it's there's so much more space to talk to people and take the time and actually have a conversation and stuff like that.
Right.
Because the Comic-Con is like kind of like there's so many people moving through. Even if they want to talk, they get pushed by the other people.
Right. And I don't want to diss San Diego because there's always a core group of people that they've been doing it every year from the beginning, and they're there. But there's so many other people. It's just like they don't have the time to talk to you. They don't really want to talk to you because they're trying to get one of those pops, because they're like,
Yeah, no, I love Comic-Con. It's the only show that's like that. It's so huge, has everything there, and I just love going around looking at all the different stuff there. But in terms of talking to fans and stuff, it's just so crowded. It's just so hard to do that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
it's hard to find anybody there. Even if you're looking for them, it's like, hey, so and so's here. Meet me in a hall, whatever. Okay.
Yeah, or I'm at booth AA7437, TK421. I was like, what? Yeah, like where is that?
Coordinates.
Right.
So somebody's asking, do you guys prefer smaller or bigger cons?
Oof, it's the age-old question, right?
Yeah.
Oof.
I like both.
Right.
I mean, the big cons are cool because you see, like I said, all the, all the companies are out there, all the studios are out there, which I love to see. But then the smaller shows are great, so you can talk to fans and kind of like kind of more chill kind of thing, which I like. So yeah, I like both.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, the smaller one. Yeah, I think you spend more time with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took an effort to be there.
Right.
And the bigger ones are also fun just for the sheer massive, as a kid, we used to go into the ones at the VFW halls or like the church basements and stuff.
Yeah.
Thinking that, they'd be in a mile-long convention center.
Yeah.
And like the whole world would come out. Like that fascinates me. That still makes me happy.
Yeah, when you see people from other countries there, it's like,
it
blows your mind, right? It's
yeah.
I'm going to be totally honest, and it's not about the size of the convention. It's the city. If it's a good food city, I'm totally in.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's all about the entire experience because generally speaking, you make the convention what it is, but it's after the show and it's like, I figure out what I want to map out, in terms of eating. And that kind of makes it for me, I have to say.
It's true, though, because some shows you go to, and there's not a whole lot around the convention center, so that's not as fun when,
Right.
When there's otherwise, like, tons of restaurants everywhere or whatever.
Yeah.
Definitely
and also
better.
who's at the convention. If I know people, like Ming happens to be there now, if you happen to be there, it makes it better because it's like my social weekend now. I get to eat, I get to hang out with friends, and meet people. But, whether it's a big convention or a small convention, doesn't really make as much difference to me.
Right.
Yeah. Amy, is it true that you introduced Gail Simone to dim sum?
Yes. Where'd you hear that?
Wow.
You told me.
Oh, did I tell you? Yeah.
I was fascinated one
cool.
that she'd never had it, but that
I was happy she never had it either, and I realized, wow, a lot of people have not had dim sum. So it was very much of like I think it was C2E2, and I think there's a line already. The Hyatt buffet or whatever, and people are already waiting for breakfast. And I'm like,
Right.
literally. Chicago Chinatown is like a 5-minute cab ride. So we just piled people into a cab and we just went over, and then I just ordered a bunch of dim sum, and it was kind
That's
of
a
like
great idea.
Yeah, because also I just didn't realize like some people. But first of all, where is she going to have dim sum? She lives in Oregon. She'd have to.
Oh yeah, yeah. Good
Right.
point.
You actually kind of need to be in a big city with a Chinatown to have dim sum. So I realize now that it's not like a given. Oh, everyone's at dim sum.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think they had dim sum because they had an egg roll, and I'm like, oh, it's more than an egg roll.
No.
Egg roll.
It's like,
no. Egg roll's like a condiment.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait,
It comes
man.
on every meal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. And this is me speaking as someone who grew up in Iowa. I should know because Chinese food in Iowa, I have to say, I was like, wow, I've never seen that kind of Chinese food before. That's not Chinese food. But now I know, right? It's like, yeah.
Right.
So, dim sum is delicious if you ever, because just think about it as like they're like Chinese tapas. It's just a little bits, and it is inherently a social activity. It's like
Oh
you
yeah,
go
yeah,
and
definitely.
you order a buttload of food so you can enjoy it with your friends and family. And some of it can be a little weird if you're not into like certain types of stuff, but it's a lot of dumpling. It's a lot of just first of all, and it doesn't have to be unhealthy, but I do like the fried stuff.
Oh, sure.
Oh yeah. The shrimp balls, those are good.
The shrimp balls, the steamed rice rolls with the XO balls. That's like my favorite. Yeah. So yeah, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Now I'm more hungry.
Yeah. I love that you took her in Chicago too. So that Chicago Chinatown's one of the best. And there's a legit place. I think we went. There's a place that opens at 8 a.m.
Yeah, that's the one we went to. That's like the go-to, and of course I can't remember the name now.
It's called Ming Hin.
Ming Hin. I highly recommend it because they're also open late, so you can go after the convention too.
They're open till 2 a.m. every night. It's crazy.
Is that right?
Yeah.
They open early and close late?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, so we all have to go because I've taken other creators who I will not name there, and they're all like, "Oh, this is like, where's the PF Chang's?" It's sometimes it's too
We're the real Chinese food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I just took you to a real place, and they're all like, "Oh, that's not." We don't want to see bones in our chicken, kind of people.
Oh, where the flavors at. Where you think the flavor comes from? The bone marrow. That's where the flavor comes from. Pick them out.
I will not name who I was with. That wasn't Gail.
I will not. You don't need to reveal. So great.
I know. So yeah, Chicago, great eating town. So I'd definitely love to go to Chicago.
I've never been to that. I've been to the Chicago Chinatown, so that'd be cool.
Yeah, lots of great restaurants. Hopefully, every restaurant has come back. We need to support our restaurants.
Right. Yeah. So true. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. So Ron, is there anything else you want to promote? Where do we go for your original art? You must sell. Do you have a
you can contact me through my Facebook page, my fan page.
Oh.
So it's a Ron Lim fan page, and you can message me through there, and then we'll get back to you on that one because my wife checks it more than I do, so she'll let me know. And then for work, I'm just I'm doing still a bunch of variant coverage for Marvel and a project that's coming up, but I can't announce it yet because they haven't announced it yet. So.
And speaking of which, did you do a Shang-Chi variant cover last year?
Couple, yeah.
Okay. Which
fun.
is awesome.
Yes.
In the past, anytime asked me, it was like, "Hey, what Marvel movie do you want to see next?" I'm like, "Duh, Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu."
Exactly.
Yeah, and for years, they're like, "Oh, okay, well, maybe they'll do that. Maybe one day they'll do that." To now, where it's gonna. They did it. It's coming out. It makes me so happy.
Me too. I cannot wait. I mean, I grew up loving Shang-Chi, so I mean, and that the covers I just did last year were the first time I ever drawn him, so it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, an Asian James Bond who is the master of kung fu like that.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I can't wait. But that was cool. I was happy when I saw you do the variant cover. It's like,
thanks, man. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shang.
Well, this is amazing. You're our last guest, so
Oh.
for today, I think
Time for
we have a
dim
whole
sum.
lineup for tomorrow. Yeah, so I know, right? Hopefully, everyone will come back tomorrow. We've got all sorts of awesome people. We got Janice Chang. We've got Larry Hama. I'm sure you know everybody.
I know I know both of them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're all our friends. We
You know
stack
what?
them.
Yeah.
Come back and crash, any one of the panels,
Yeah.
you can join in. It's very relaxed.
That's
and
awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome hanging out with you.
Hey, same
You
here.
know?
It was great chatting with you
Yeah.
guys. Yeah.
So
And
now,
hopefully we'll show up at a con together sometime. That'd be fun.
Oh, I have no doubt. Yeah, they're roaring back. So yeah, I've done 2 so far already this year,
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, it felt good. It felt
Oh,
good.
good. That's awesome. That's awesome news.
right, and we're gonna see some stuffed dim sum. Somebody's gonna come out with a plush, dumpling or something. I'm sure.
Then we'll all buy them.
Right, for sure. I got to do that. As a writer, I'm really limited. What can I come up with? I'll come up with something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll write a children's book with some talking.
Oh man. Yeah.
There you go.
Talking dim sum.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna do that. So anyway, all right. So any last minute things you want to say, Ron, to everybody?
No, this has been fun. This has been great.
Oh, good. Yeah. We really appreciate taking the time out because it is Memorial Day weekend. You could be out barbecuing and doing something else,
No, this is great. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm sure you've got deadlines to worry about like everybody else, but thank you so much.
Oh,
Yeah.
my pleasure. This is a blast.
Really cool. Really
Yeah.
cool. Awesome. Well, we'll say goodbye, and then Ming and I
thank you,
will
Ron.
wrap.
Yeah,
up.
thanks.
Was that fun? I was like,
That was
I never
was
really
awesome.
talked with Ron.
You know how it's fun. It went by so quick. So, and
That's true.
yeah,
Very true.
yeah, that's how you know it's fun in anything. It feels like no time has passed. And
Yes.
and I mean, I haven't seen you in I think like 16 months.
Oh, I know. And thank you so much. I know, I kind of was saying, hey, let's do this, and I didn't say how long it was going to be, and it turned into.
No, I think one, I can't say no, and 2, I have no concept of time. So yeah, come on. I've been I've been streaming like this for the last year. That's how I kept sane, and all I want to do is talk to my friends and make new ones too. So, which I did both in one day. It's great.
Right.
Yeah,
and it's good when it's easy. We're just chatting, and it's like, wow, very easy.
Yeah, and if you're talking about food, forget about it. I'm here all day. So, so speaking of all day, we'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, and we got 5 guests tomorrow. So we're going.
Oh yes.
Yeah, we're going for 5 hours tomorrow. We have Joyce Chin kicking things off at 1 p.m. We have Janice Chang at 2 p.m. We have Visavit Singh, aka the Sikh Captain America, 3 o'clock, and then 4. Our old friend Larry Hama is coming, joined by Jerry Ma at 4:30, and then we have Peter Gwen, exceptionally one of my favorite X-Men artists, Peter Gwen at 5 o'clock. So these are all people I haven't seen in a long time.
We may have some surprise guests too.
Oh, okay.
You know, and this person. He said he would drop by, so let's see.
Okay.
If he does.
I can't wait.
Joyce has, I wouldn't say she's promised, but Joyce is ready to just kind of bitch and talk about really interesting stuff.
Okay.
So don't miss it, 1 o'clock.
I love it. I love it.
And thanks to everybody who's kind of hung out with us.
Yeah, for sure. Come back tomorrow for sure.
New friends, and people have learned something. They've learned a lot about us, maybe. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean, I learned stuff about you every time. So
right. No, so I'm gonna plug. You can follow. I'm usually on Twitter, AMYCHU. So it's pretty easy. This is a good thing about also having short Asian names, like 6 letters. Amy Chu.
4 letters, 6 letters. It's great.
Right. And I'm on. So I do more of food posting on Instagram, and there I'm Amy_Chu. And of course, if I'm on something that I can announce, I'll usually post something about that comic there. I do have Red Sonja 1982 coming out in a couple of weeks.
This week?
No, June 9th, actually.
June 9th? Okay, I can wait.
Shout out to Nick. But yeah, so that's going to be fun because as you can imagine, it's Red Sonja 1982, not 1984. 1982 is a very special year, I feel like. we're doing that. And people are like, oh, is she time traveling? Yes, she is time traveling, 1982.
Yep.
But I thought I would have some fun with it. Eric Blake is the artist. He really rocked it. Basically, it's Red Sonja versus let's just say a Terminator, not Terminator, Terminator-like robot creature goes back in time to try to terminate Red Sonja for various reasons. So we just go with that, okay?
Sold. I will have Mike Zapsik put aside a copy for me for sure.
And so that's that. I mean, do you have anything to announce to people?
I am. I run a podcast studio here in New Jersey. So if you're looking at this stream and you're like, wow, I want to do something like this, I can help you out for sure. This is what we do. We help people launch podcasts. We teach classes. It's called a Shared Universe Podcast Studio. Which can I tilt this up? Here, like that, like the sign says back there. And it is a podcast studio disguised as a pop culture emporium. Looks like Comic-Con blew up in here. So that's what I've been doing. I've actually got shows coming up, Amy. I don't know if you've booked anything this year, but I guess while I'm here, I'll be at the Central Florida Comic-Con June in 2 weeks, which is June 12th and 13th. I'll be at Magic City Comic-Con the 18th, 19th, and 20th in Birmingham, Alabama. And then I'll be at the Albuquerque Comic-Con 25th, 26th, and 27th. So, yeah, that's June. So they're coming back for sure. So I have no doubt I'll be seeing you soon.
Very good. Yeah, I'm so far all I've got booked is AwesomeCon in Washington, D.C. I think that's August. And then Blue City in September in Portland. So those are the shows I'll be doing. And I think after that I'm going to be open. I just feel good about the way things are headed. So
I believe your phone is going to start ringing off the hook. Especially for this year, they need us out there. They need us out there for the return. I have no doubt. So,
right, for the triumphant return of the creator, we'll be there.
Yes, and us. You need us. So,
right. Yes. Any good food city, I'm there for you.
And of which Portland and DC, very good food cities. Yeah, very, very good. So.
Oh my God, I sound like it's like all about food.
Hey man, it drives us. I'm not gonna lie.
We all have to. I'm not a snob. I don't want people to think I only like, really expensive food. You know me, right?
Yeah. If I can find an $11 steak that is as good as the $80 one, I'm going to the $11 one so I can have 8 of them.
I prefer that. It's like the In-N-Out. I mean, In-N-Out burger. I'm there. I like a good Sonic,
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. I'm definitely not a Sonic. Right, no. Or any really good diner. I'm really down for that.
Well, good thing we live in New Jersey then, right?
I know, right? I've done a little bit of a diner tour. It's really, yeah. I got to watch it because I have definitely gained a little of the pandemic weight. So
go run around, run it off. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody who's been with us, thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow for sure.
Yeah. All right.
And big thanks to the experience, the XP.
Yeah, thanks to Kyle. Big props to Jen and Jen and Nick and letting us do this, and it's been fun. So come back tomorrow and we'll start it all over again with Joyce. And Joyce. Oh my God, I've been to so many with Joyce and Arthur, and so good.